Welcome to Tashkent in Uzbekistan and the Lokomotiv Stadium, hosting the fourth round of matches in Group I of the 2021 AFC Champions League. It's United City FC of Philippines against Japan's Kawasaki Frontale. It's the return fixture, and just a few days ago Frontale won 8-0 against Jason With's team. As a result, that is what Group I looks like. It's all very pleasant for Kawasaki Frontale. Once again, it's a case of top meeting bottom in the group. Frontale have scored 18 goals in their first 3 games. United City FC in their last 2 have conceded 15. They did start, however, with a most impressive 1-1 draw against a young Beijing Goan team. Many changes today made to the starting lineups. Just 3 players remain in each team, including the goalkeepers from the contest 3 days ago. And it was a very positive start made by United City FC. They made it to 33 minutes without conceding a goal, and then it all just started to go against them very quickly indeed. Kaoru Mitoma scored the opener for Frontale. It was 2-0 at half-time, a goal added to that Mitoma goal by Ryota Oshima. After half-time, 2 goals in 6 minutes from Leandro Damião and Kento Tachibanada. Tachibanada going on to score a hat-trick in 14 minutes to make it 6-0. And then Mitoma added a second in the 82nd minute, and Yasuto Akizawa made it 8-0 in stoppage time. But Jason With was pleased with those players, many of whom now dropped down to the bench to give others an opportunity. He has said that tournament fatigue is starting to set in, a few little injuries here and there, but he's happy that his players aren't finishing their games exhausted. And they have reason to be exhausted when playing a team like Kawasaki Frontale, because you just spend such time chasing the ball and frankly getting nowhere near it. Toru Oniki's team will be looking at the next fixture, the key one really, against Daegu, the return contest. They won it 3-2 at the start of the AFC Champions League Eastern region, because only the top side is guaranteed a place in the next round. 3 of the best 5 second place sides, they will also go through, but there is absolutely no guarantee unless you win the group. They don't have a great deal in common, these 2 teams, but one thing they do have to talk about is the fact that they are their nation's dominant domestic side. United City FC won their 4th consecutive title last season, albeit in a much smaller form of the Philippine Football League. Kawasaki Frontale also won the J1 crown. They did it for a 3rd time at the end of last season after their back-to-back titles in 2017 and 2018. They were 4th in 2019. As Jason With quite rightly said, no matter who Kawasaki Frontale send out onto the field as their starting 11, it's going to be an extremely strong team. It's going to be one of the best teams out there on the continent, and he's right about that. Toru Oniki is giving players an opportunity today to return to the pitch for Kyohei Noborizato, for example. We also may well see the likes of Ten Miyagi and Kaito Kamiya coming off the bench. Zain Isaka as well could feature. And already very impressive so far in the AFC Champions League has been Kento Tachibanada, who continues to have a place in the first team, one of only 3 that continue from the meeting between these two sides a few days ago. The Silk Road city of Tashkent is the host venue for this particular group. The match is taking place in the Lokomotiv Stadium. Both of the matches between these two sides have taken place here. So what will it be this time? Will it be a repeat of the 8-0 victory from a few days ago, where Kawasaki Frontale took half an hour to make the breakthrough, but once they'd done so, they did not let up? Will this changed United City FC team have more joy against Toro Oniki's side? We shall find out in just a matter of moments as we get underway in this match between the top team in the Philippines and the top team in Japan. As of the moment this game kicks off, will be beyond the halfway mark of the group stage. Anthony Pintus remains in goal for United City FC, having been beaten 8 times by today's opponents on July the 2nd. Mike Ott and Mark Hartman are the only outfielders who remain, with the pace of Jai Ingham useful on the counter-attack, and an AFC Champions League debut for William Grierson, who wears number 88 and plays on the left flank. Omar Al-Ali of United Arab Emirates, the referee, most of his team from Oman. Lots of changes from Toro Oniki. Only 3 of the players that started against United City FC 3 days ago remain. Goalkeeper Chung Sung-ryong and midfielders Ryota Oshima and Kento Tachibanada, who scored a hat-trick in 14 second half minutes. Kyohei Noborizato makes his first appearance since the opening fixture against Daegu FC and has the captain's armband returned to him. On the substitutes bench for Frontale, Ten Miyagi, who is yet to play in the AFC Champions League, and then all of the expected faces, the likes of Shogo Taniguchi and Leandro Damiao. Mike Ott wearing the armband for United City FC today, 26-year-old, born in Munich. We begin the second meeting in Group I between United City FC of Philippines and Japan's Kawasaki Frontale. Jason With, the new head coach of United City FC, was very happy with what his side did in the first game, so they didn't panic when they went behind. They kept trying to play their own way, and it is his side in possession now, attacking the goal to your right, and The first foul of the contest, as we look at Toru Oniki, who has, it is always worth stating, done extraordinary things at Kawasaki Frontale, making them the team to beat in Japan. Indeed, the team that everyone fails to beat in Japan. Mark Hartman with the free kick. Wasn't a bad delivery either. And there is William Grierson making his AFC Champions League debut. Player who was born in Hong Kong, has just signed from Pegasus FC in the Hong Kong Premier League. I should say TWS Pegasus, they've just recently reverted to that name. Koki Tsukagawa wearing 3 for Frontale. Shintaro Kurumaya playing his 21st AFC Champions League game. Here is Noborizato back in the side. Hasegawa, he's obviously being pulled by Passinabo, but manages to get the cross in. Ott. Victory here for Kawasaki Frontale, and they move to 12 points. Starting to look very much on the safe side. Daegu FC playing Beijing Guoan at the same time as this fixture. We shall endeavour to give you an update on how that one's going too. And it's a great pleasure to have your company wherever it is in the world that you're joining this fixture from. Ollie Hogben here. I hope you're enjoying your feast of AFC Champions League football, because it's just match after match after match at the moment. Here's Adam Reed. Goes back to poor old Anthony Pintus, who was beaten 8 times in the last game, and he did have some very fine moments in goal. He did unfortunately also make the odd error here and there, including one that was really capitalised upon by Kento Tachibanada, who has proven himself to be a most useful predatory player. It was Tachibanada who brought down Mike Ott there. It's over the top going to Tatsuya Hasegawa. Tough one to control, but he's done well. Pasinabo's having lots of trouble with Hasegawa, who just played clear. Kurumaya. Under some pressure there, the 30-year-old Adam Reed. Player born in Hartlepool in the northeast of England. Kyohei Noborizato. Into us with the restart. Kawasaki. A little overhit for Borizato, but it was actually, I think, intended for Hasegawa. It's well controlled. Chinen came on as a substitute against Beijing Guoan and scored a couple of goals. Hasegawa blocked by Reed. The Frontale players hopeful of a handball decision from Omar Al-Ali. Certainly does make contact with the arm of Reed. Interesting one. I'll leave that with you. What do you reckon? Welcome chance for Arni Pasinabo, wearing 15, 35-year-old, to be in the opposition half, having had to deal with Tatsuya Hasegawa for much of the first 10 minutes. It's going to be United City FC ball, and it will be the veteran Pasinabo, the 35-year-old, as Ott goes down. Robles. Good effort by Robles, but he was a little too physical. Player who's making his AFC Champions League debut. He's waited patiently for a chance to get off the bench, and you can certainly see that he is really in the mood to battle in the midfield, which is what they're going to need. So far it's been Kawasaki Frontale with about 3/4 of the possession. Oshima has Chinen and Hasegawa, but has just the goalkeeper. It was well read by Anthony Pintus. Just a step behind that, and Chinen would have poked it in. Kurumaya back to Jung Sung-ryong, winner of the AFC Champions League with Seongnam over a decade ago. He had 12 very good years in the K-League before heading to Frontale in 2016. It was a big move, actually. Kozuka. Hasegawa. Now flicked on by Oshima. Hasegawa once again in behind Pasinabo, who does well, actually. Scored the opening goal against Beijing Guoan. That was well recovered by Arni Pasinabo, very experienced player that he is. Two players born in the UK. The referee was chatting to there, Adam Reed, as mentioned earlier, from the northeast of England, Mark Hartman from Southampton on the south coast. Will be brought under control by Keichinen. He's the one out wide this time. Oshima slightly aimless. Kuramayo. Build again through Yamamura at the back. That's obviously a foul. And yes, it does have to be a card, really, doesn't it, against Robles? Well, I mentioned that he was looking on the, shall we say, competitive side. Competitive, combative. Kazuki Kozuka to shoot from the free kick, and it's well gathered by Anthony Pintus. Pumped by passing elbow, didn't quite work. Somewhat on the optimistic side there from Keichinen. Certainly was quite some jump from Dayatono, clambering over Cholo Burgas. Player who's really worked his way up through the league system, Dayatono. Looked impressive in the game against Beijing. As evidenced by the passing statistics, they've barely seen the ball, United City FC. Well read by Reed, because Hasegawa would have been away. It's so quickly recaptured, and quicker movement to the ball now from Frontale. Robles. Kurt Dizon, he looked useful when he came on as a substitute in the last game, as did Ingham. But it looks as though the breakthrough is creeping ever closer as Kawasaki Frontale just start to increase the pressure, increase the pace. Tora plays it forwards. Oshima mishit completely. So well cut out by the experienced Noborizato, who's been with the club his whole career. Hasegawa, it's a good pass and it's stopped well by Pintus. Maybe Chinen could have played that a touch more diagonally. Did put it rather at the goalkeeper, but Pintus was well positioned to his credit. And perhaps actually the movement across from William Grierson was enough to make Chinen aim for the near post, when maybe the far post was the one likely to yield success. Hartmann. Kurumaya. Little flick from Hasegawa, who gets it back and shoots, and it's lost by the goalkeeper. He's done very well though, Anthony Pintus, to recover that. It may have been an error first time, but he was alert to the rebound. Closer and closer for Kawasaki Frontale. Surely it is a matter now of when rather than if the goal is scored. Hasegawa turns and shoots. That's a very fine stop from Anthony Pintus. He is working so hard at the moment. Pasanabo, oh, that's not helped at all, has it? You really have to feel for Anthony Pintus there, because he's done so much to help his team out, and then they rather dumped him in it as Kei Chinen gets the opening goal. United City FC 0, Kawasaki Frontale 1. Yes, it certainly was coming, and for some time. One suspects that the very experienced Dani Pasinabo will be a little irritated with himself about that. He was under pressure from Hasegawa. But on the subject of pressure, he really piled it on his goalkeeper. Satisfaction for Toro Oniki. He's spoken very eloquently about the need to not underestimate United City FC and to treat them respectfully. And the start of this game indicates they are doing just that. Third Champions League goal of the season for Kei Chinen. Ingham does well. Hartmann. Well, he must have known, Jason With, that it was going to happen, and happen reasonably soon. It's played to Kozuka. The pull back almost reaches Oshima. Tono over the top. Touch, I think, was off Jordan Jarvis. Tono striking it. Pintus might have had it covered, but Jordan Jarvis making sure. It will be the 26-year-old Kawasaki. Nearly falls kindly for, well, it does in the end fall kindly, and what a good save by Pintus. It was Keichinen. That seemed to be initially bouncing for Tsukagawa. That's a good agile stop from Pintus. He's going to be absolutely shattered by the conclusion of this game if it carries on at this degree of intensity. Played short. Oshima gives it away, not for the first time. Noborizato. Kosuka, Oshima. Kurumaya. Oh, and then put wide by Tatsuya Hasegawa. It's a very nice move from Kawasaki Frontale. Again, one might suggest that Jordan Jarvis's move across could have possibly done enough to put off Tatsuya Hasegawa, but if one is being critical, one might suggest he ought to have at least drawn a save from Pintus, if not done more. But it is attack upon attack upon attack at the moment. This is actually a stronger start by some way from Kawasaki Frontale compared to a few days ago. It was scoreless at this stage, and United City FC had seen a little more of the ball. Mark Hartman, playing in his 6th AFC Champions League game, forces Jung into action, which hasn't happened a great deal for him of late. Offside though. Can't be easy as a goalkeeper when you do so little for such a long period of time and then are required to be active, although facetiously you might say it's a very nice problem to have. How Anthony Pintus would love that problem, although it is a problem that he had in the league season. He only conceded 1 goal in the 4 games he played last season. There were only 5 games in the domestic league anyway in 2020 in the Philippines. That's a lovely ball. The header comes back off the post. Oshima picks himself up, but very nearly beat Anthony Pintus. What an excellent run as well it was from the 28-year-old. Got away from William Grierson so impressively. Well, if you're just joining the contest, it is very one-sided at the moment and is likely to continue in this vein for some time. Oh, that's well controlled. It must be. It is not. Dayatono really having brought the ball down so well, having injected a lovely burst of pace, then didn't do what was probably the easiest bit of the whole sequence. Would have been his first AFC Champions League goal. William Grierson, the player who's in some degree of discomfort. This is something that Jason With has spoken about the increasing fatigue, the increasing injuries. Okay, Grierson yet to actually play, but the last thing you want is for one of your fresher players to then pick up an injury. And the energy, it's always worth restating, the energy that's expended from chasing the game constantly, from battling so hard just to get a foot on the ball. It's so different from the energy that's expended from having possession, from holding possession. Looks as though the 23-year-old is okay. And it is somewhat remarkable that it is still just 1-0. Jordan Jarvis had to be oh so careful not to bring Tono down. They've had about 10 shots on goal already now, Kawasaki Frontale. And the problem is that once they eventually, and this is assuming they eventually start to beat Pintus more regularly, then it's going to get harder and harder for him to keep picking himself back up again. He's playing well so far, he's made so many good saves. But psychologically, it has to be significantly harder to do that when you're 4 or 5-0 down than when you're level or you've just conceded the first. They do have Jun Badalik as the backup goalkeeper, United City FC. As Ott commits the foul. And when I say backup about Badalik, he really is a consummate backup. He's been on the bench 14 times in the AFC Champions League without ever playing. Gramaya. Noborizzato. Dizon, having done so well, then just couldn't slip it past Noborizzato. Dizon. Asinabo. He's looking for Jai Ingham, the New Zealand international. It's certainly a foul. Did very well, Mark Hartman, player who started his career at Swindon Town, down by Kazuki Kozuka. Hartman in his second spell at the club. He played in their Champions League campaign last year, re-signed back in March. Well, it was worth having a go, I suppose. First shot that United City FC have enjoyed. The only goal so far in the 18th minute, scored by Keijinen. Tono. It's well defended. Yamamura. Ingham trying to steal the ball from Kawasaki. Twisted down by Chinen. No foul by Noborizato. Tatsuya Hasegawa. Hasenabo. Let's go behind. "27-year-olds from Shizuoka Prefecture, Tatsuya Hasegawa, graduate of Juntendo University in Tokyo, joined Frontale in 2016. He's really just starting to make his proper breakthrough into being a first-team regular this season. He's played 17 times in the league. Still gets used as a substitute quite a lot in J1. Kono. Kurumaya. Noborizato. Playing his 25th game today in the AFC Champions League. Fine achievement. Oshima. Kawasaki wants it and will get it and will not use it, and then hit from distance and coming off Jordan Jarvis once again for a corner kick. We'll call that a lovely pass from Kawasaki to Koki Tsukagawa. A splendid, unorthodox delivery. Cholo Burgas wearing number 3, trying to keep Kei Chinen under control. Header actually was from Adam Reed. It is always worth bearing in mind that United City FC is in such contrast to Kawasaki Frontale, a team really in transition. Frontale, a team that has had at its heart a very fine group of players who really are the backbone of the side, who've been there for quite a long time. And with United City FC, you have a team of largely new faces, and that's what Jason With was saying, that they haven't had much time to really prepare. The way they've had to prepare is so different from what you would normally do ahead of a major competition. When there was the change of ownership last year, so much turnover was experienced in the playing squad. Kurumaya. Ingham certainly caught a boot quite high. Quickly taken to Maikot, but played back by Kurumaya. Shintaro Kurumaya is one of those players who's been with the team since his graduation from Tsukuba University. He's another one of them, Noborizato. Sakagawa. Pasinabo has lost the ball and it's been beautifully stopped by Pintus. Hasegawa. Once again, Pasinabo creating problems for his own team. Let's have a look back at... we can have a look back at the earlier chance. And this is the chance. Sanabo just couldn't control it. Hasegawa nearly with his 5th AFC Champions League goal. But once again, the 23-year-old born in Solothurn in the German-speaking area of Switzerland was the obstacle. Hasegawa. So a bit of a late challenge from Pasinabo. Chinen. It's well defended by Grierson. He's had a touch late from Mark Hartmann. Chibanada. That's a good spot to Tsukagawa. He might well finish. He pulls it back, and it's another chance that they haven't put in. Hasegawa's header, an unguarded net. United City FC still improbably are only a single goal behind. It was well played by Tsukagawa. And the less said about that, really, the better from the perspective of Tatsuya Hasegawa. Well, he's been due a let-off, hasn't he, Anthony Pintus? Hartmann thumps it, really, no more. Chibanada. Shot earlier from Hasegawa. Then this chance saved by Pintus. And then the goal finally from Chinen, the only player who's managed so far to get it beyond Anthony Pintus. And really, one would imagine that Jason With will be full of praise for his goalkeeper at the break. Now by Kozuka. Rare opportunity for United City FC. Cholo Burgos, who wins the corner. Teenager who signed in August of last year after being the MVP for Far Eastern University Athletics in Manila. Private university that started life as an accountancy and business school. He chose to give up his college career and become a professional player. He was advised by Stefan Schrock. And clear from Chinen. Yes, it's interesting to see the way Burgas's position can vary. He has played internationally in the Southeast Asian games as a defensive midfielder. He does prefer to play in a more advanced position. That's where he played for Far Eastern University Athletics. Lovely light play from Tatsuya Hasegawa. He's beating them all himself at the moment. He's going to carry on going as well, even though that was a losing battle. He manages to force Grierson to play it out. A lot of ground covered by 27-year-old Tatsuya Hasegawa. Painful one, wasn't it, as Robles and Reed went into each other. Oshima, again they've won it back. It's been hard-working defensive play from United City FC. And one suspects they'll be really quite delighted to be just a goal down at half-time. When one thinks about it, that was a goal that came from a mistake. Just can't quite find quality passes to any of the front men, though. And when you get so few chances, really you have to do something a little more decisive, a little more clinical. And one of those rare chances does come along. Burgas. Kazuya Yamamura, the 31-year-old from Nagasaki, at the back for Frontale. Sakagawa, another university graduate, the Ryutsu Keizai, where he read his degree. He doesn't get many opportunities, the number 3, to start games for Kawasaki Frontale. All 13 of his appearances in the league have been as a substitute this season. From the Borizato to Hasegawa, to nobody in particular. Robles calling out for it and then making something of a mess. So we approach stoppage time in the first half. Tristan Robles Hartmann doesn't have a great deal in the way of clear attacking options. Just a single minute to be added on. Shyingham just not too tight in his control. 27-year-old who is playing outside of Oceania for the first time. He joined in March from Brisbane Roar. ...14 shots on goal in the first half from Kawasaki Frontale, but it yields just one goal. Scored by the number 20 Kei Chinen. hard work from all and sundry wearing the United City FC shirt. Can they keep it going in the second half, or will they eventually grow weary from the onslaught that is coming from Kawasaki Frontale? The key player has been the goalkeeper Anthony Pintus, who's had so much to do and has done it very well indeed. As a result, they can be optimistic, Jason With's team at half-time. It is United City FC 0, Kawasaki Frontale 1.
Kawasaki kazanır da
Welcome back to the second half of this contest between United City FC of Philippines and Kawasaki Frontale of Japan. A very hard-working first half it was too from Jason With's team, conceding just one goal. That gentleman right there, PHI. A loose ball from Arni Pasinabo. There hasn't been a great deal that's been loose from this team, but that, regrettably, was the only separating factor. Coming on, Yasudo Wakizawa. He's proven himself to be a most useful member of the Kawasaki Frontale squad. Ryota Oshima, the player who will not return at the start of the second half. We begin the second half of this match between United City FC of Philippines and Kawasaki Frontale of Japan in Group I of the 2021 AFC Champions League. It's the East region, and it is Kawasaki Frontale, the Japanese league leaders in possession, attacking the goal to your right. Leading courtesy of Kei Chinen's goal in the 18th minute of the first half. And Anthony Pintus in the United City FC goal has been impressive. He's been alert and he's been very hard to beat, and that's exactly what you need from a goalkeeper against a team like Kawasaki Frontale. Now, it's fair to say that Frontale have been a touch loose in front of goal at times. And perhaps where Jason With will have been encouraging, Toru Oniki might have said, "Come along, gentlemen, let's actually stick the ball in the back of the net every once in a while, shall we?" But he had a very good first half. Player who started his career with the Grasshopper Club in Zurich, left them in 2019, having not made any appearances. Couple of loan spells to United Zurich and Vurlen, and then was transferred to Kosovo Zurich. Made just a single appearance before moving to Philippines last year. Kazuki Kozuka, player who is really enjoying having the opportunity to actually spend some time on the pitch. He's played 4 games in J1, but all of them as a substitute in the last minute. Makizawa to Tachibanada. Cholabugas. And it is going to be the substitute, Wakizawa. And he shoots somewhat optimistically, but he did score a lovely goal against Beijing Goan from outside the area. Also scored in the meeting between these two teams a few days ago. It's flicked on by Dayatono. Here is Kazuki Kozuka. All very similar this to the first half, just constant attack from Kawasaki Frontale. at half-time in the other game in this group. It was exactly the same, a single goal advantage to Daegu FC over Beijing Goan. And it is Daegu FC who meet Kawasaki Frontale in the next match. Tono with a player down for United City FC. Akizawa, Chinen. Arriving Hasegawa and put over the bar by William Grierson. He's had an awful lot to do, Grierson, in his Champions League debut, as we see Shola Bugas, the player who went down to that meeting with Dayatono. It was Noborizato who played the ball in. The goalkeeper was certainly impacted when challenging for the ball. Maybe that was a head-to-head collision, actually. Another look, it's... Oh, yeah, goodness me, Koki Tsukagawa just goes right into Pintus. There's no malice in that from either party, but it's nasty. And it's painful. And they both have to be checked to make sure that all is okay. And just picking himself up as well as Jordan Jarvis. Well, such is the nature of things now that there is proper attention given to head injuries in the game, and goodness knows it's taken football long enough to get to that stage. Well, warming up is Jun Badelik, who has been on the bench 14 times in this competition and never played. Last time he appeared in a continental game was in the AFC Cup in 2015 for Global, the rivals of United City FC. And it seems, for the moment at least, that he will go back to being on the bench because Anthony Pintus is up. Not looking too worse for wear. Pintus restarts the game. And they will, one suspects, be very keen, as long as he's okay, to make sure he carries on playing, because he has been most important, the crucial player, more than any other in the United City FC side. Under control by Chinen, who shows some nice skill to now play it to Tono. Wakizawa, in the end, rather scuffed off Jarvis. And another problem, and it's Adam Reed this time who's down, and this is a risk really for United City FC, and it is what Jason With spoke about before the match, that they are getting more and more fatigued players with little injuries that they're trying to play through. Omar Al-Ali saying the stretcher is necessary here. First time that he started a game. Referee making clear to Adam Reed he needs to go off the field of play behind the goal right now. But it's certainly clear that some of the United City FC players are feeling it, shall we say. And who can blame them? They have made a fiercely hard-working start to this game, and all of this a few days after losing 8-0 to this same side. He's on. Robles. I think that the captain, Maikot, was his target. He always knew it was going to be an extremely difficult group, a group containing two extremely strong sides and another side that would be significantly stronger had they not, for COVID protocol reasons, been forced to bring their youth team to this competition. It's been tough for Beijing Guoan. It's tougher for United City FC. Tachibanada. Makizawa gets it back. It's a somewhat ambitious idea from Kazuki Kozuka. Joined the club this season, looking for his first goal. The hugely experienced club captain. Well, there's a problem for Koki Tsukagawa. Getting quite a lot of injury disruption now in this second half. He is not going to be risked to play any further part, so Tsukagawa coming off, and the club captain Shogo Taniguchi will come on. To make his 28th appearance in the AFC Champions League. Well over 300 appearances for the club in all competitions since he graduated from Tsukuba University in 2013. Kurumaya just hits it long, nothing more complex than that. Nonetheless, it is Frontale who, I was going to say Frontale who keep possession, but it's been won back by Cholo Bugas. Nobody really able to bring the ball down and control it. Tachibanada does. Always dangerous in this sort of position, and brought to ground was Tatsuya Hasegawa. Arnie Pasinabo seemed to suggest to Hasegawa afterwards that he was rather intending it to be that way all along, but he thought that it'd gone down far too easily. Or headed straight at Pintus, who was well positioned. It was nothing more than an instinctive save, but that is basic goalkeeping training at its best, being in the right place, and he certainly was. Tachi Banada is fouled. There are going to be, one suspects, a few more of these. Players just being half a pace behind. Keichinen, the player who did get his head on the ball, and Pintus, although he couldn't hold on to it, he did read it spot on. Yatsuto Wakizawa to deliver the free kick, and it just bounces beyond everyone. Never really looked massively likely, did it? He really does want that first goal, doesn't he, Kazuki Kozuka? So some changes for United City FC as Kieran Hayes and Miguel Carino come on to make their debuts in this competition. Mike Ott and Mark Hartman, they depart. They were the two players that remained in the side as outfielders, along with the goalkeeper Pintus from the team a few days ago. So not a surprise they're now being rested, and taking the armband is Arnie Pasinabo. First chance to see Kieran Hayes in action for the club, 22-year-old from Nottingham, whose mum is from Philippines. Last club before this was Truro City in the Southern Premier League South in England, Cornwall's top club. It's beaten Pasinabo. Hasegawa. Pasinabo gets back though. The new captain showing his work rate, probably keen to make amends for the only goal of the game. Ingham just overhit. But, you know, all the while it remains as it currently is, then it just needs one attack, doesn't it? And we have had moments like this in the AFC Champions League. United City FC were victims of it against Beijing Guoan when Liao Xiaowen scored the free kick with about 15 minutes to go on the first match day, with United City FC having controlled the entire game and only managed to score one goal. And then in Group H, Kawasaki Frontale's fellow J-Leaguers, Gamba Osaka, conceding a stoppage time goal to Chingrai United and drawing the game 1-1. It would be the most sensational result probably in their history. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? Interesting to contemplate, though. obviously a handball from Dayatono. Now, what on earth was the need to do that? Do something like that, you risk getting yourself booked for no reason at all. Another player down for United City FC. Heavy fall for Tristan Robles. Grierson has worked very hard on his Champions League debut. Burgos. Robles. He's got to watch out, Robles, having been given a yellow card in the first half. And that would be of great disappointment to United City FC and of great detriment to how hard they've worked if they lose a player. Cushioned by Kazuya Yamamura, who hasn't had an awful lot to do in this game, but he's remained alert at the back. Akizawa nearly ran out of pitch. Yamamura. And once again, the experienced centre-back joined Frontale at the start of this season. Asian Games gold medalist in 2010 in Guangzhou. Taniguchi, the substitute, with a very high quality ball, and it's not finished yet again, and it's him yet again. Tatsuya Hasegawa, another chance. One said it in a quiet and gentle voice, but maybe he ought to have finished at least one of these by now. It's one of those ones that was not strong enough to be an accurate shot, not weak enough to be an accurate pass. Dayatono frustrated as he was too far away from that to impact the path of the ball. Remains the case that Kawasaki Frontale have had the ball for the vast majority of the contest, but they have still only scored one goal, remarkably so. And again, Pintus, the ball goes straight at him, and it rather gently lands at his feet from Tono. But his positioning remains strong. Once again, Hasegawa putting the ball rather comfortably at Pintus. Jarvis takes a safe approach, especially when considering what happened for the only goal of the game. The longer this goes on, the more frustrating it will probably be for Jason With to think they've only beaten us once and it was our fault. Tachibanada. Kurumaya. Yamamura. Kento Tachibana da. Shintaro Kurumaya on the diagonal. It's a bit of a mess by Bugas. Tachibana da, and rescued by Grierson. Rather mortified looking Cholo Bugas after that attack. But his young teammate providing assistance. It's been a good performance by Grierson, really good. Yasuto Wakizawa with the corner kick. Delicate balancing act, this United City FC. They mustn't try too aggressively to get the equalising goal and suddenly undo all their hard work by leaving gaps. Oh, a lot of gaps there, but nobody picked up. Kento Tachibana da. Flag is up. Yasuto Wakizawa straying offside. They have got, United City FC, the option of Bienve Marañón to bring on the all-time top scorer in the AFC Cup. There's a combination of factors in play here as Chung Sung-ryong is put under a little pressure but gets it to Noborizato. I think it's fair to say that Kawasaki Frontale have not been as good as they were in the first game, but I think it would be too easy to focus extensively on that because United City FC have been significantly better. Kozuka and Tono coming off. One of the players coming on is Akihiro Ienaga, 35-year-old who continues the quest for his first ever AFC Champions League goal. Also on is Miki Yamane, wearing number 13. Bugas chesting it down to Jai Ingham. It's a goal about every 10 to 12 games, Ingham. So that kind of statistic becomes significantly harder to maintain when you're in a competition like the Champions League and when you've just been substituted too. So, Jai Ingham off and Angelo Marasigan coming on, the 29-year-old. Joined the team in 2019, one of the players who made it beyond the cull of the playing squad. Ienaga, the substitute. Wakizawa, goalkeeper, should easily claim that, and Pintus, especially as he's playing today, attacking it with confidence. Hasegawa, who for all of the chances he hasn't taken has been industrious, has been assiduous, has been determined, and has run and run and run. And they've been under so much pressure, United City FC, they really have struggled to put together accurate passes of the ball, in contrast to Kawasaki Frontale. Toru Oniki was right when he talked about the need to respect this team. Borisato. Yamamura. Yamane, one of the substitutes, not linking up effectively with one of the other substitutes, the veteran Akihiro Ienaga. Probably best known for his 2 spells with Gamba Osaka and also with Cerezo, one of the few players who's played for both of the big teams in Osaka. Now it's the turn of the stand-in captain Arni Pasenabo to feel some pain. Just a look there at Miguel Clarinho wearing number 11, 24-year-old. It's his debut in the competition. And Pasenabo, he's been at the club for years. Tristan Robles receiving further instruction. One of the key points of instruction to him surely will be just please don't get booked again. Well, Arni Pasenabo being taken off the field of play. Remains to be seen whether he will play any further part in the contest. Hayes tried to control it but couldn't. Ienaga. Chinen. Ienaga once more. Well defended. It was Adam Reed with the touch. A little late in that challenge. Advantage played. Ienaga onto Yamane. A chance for a turn and a shot, and it is in, and it's a frustrating moment for United City FC, and finally Tatsuya Hasegawa has scored. Not the most exquisite of finishes, not the most beautiful of goals, and one suspects a very demoralising one for United City FC, because now they trail by 2-0, and the prospect of a miraculous draw looks very unlikely now. It was Hayes, actually, it seemed to just prodded the ball into the path of Hasegawa. Tatsuya Hasegawa's goal, doubling the advantage for Kawasaki Frontale. United City FC waiting to bring on Sean Kane and Justin Bass. They're going to wait a little longer to do it. Need to deal with that quickly, Pintus, which he does. Burgas. Now's the time for something magnificent. This could be magnificent. It nearly fell to Hayes. He's going to get a chance. Oh, just couldn't quite put it in. Eventually, it's too much of a bundle. And the referee says enough's enough, and Chung Sung-ryong clutches the side of his head. Just for a moment, it looked as though United City FC were going to do something quite extraordinary. Well, apologies if you lost your pictures for a moment. Hopefully just a fleeting moment, you didn't miss much. And now those changes are to be made. Gerd Dizon and Arni Passinarbo coming off. We'll just come back to those substitutions in a minute. Here was the chance for Kieran Hayes. And then he did clatter into Chung Sung-ryong. Well, one might facetiously say that's a style of football learned in the Southern Premier League South. Physical way of playing the game as Sean Kane comes on and takes the armband. And Kane learning his football in very different circumstances. Menlo College in the United States of America. Although he did really begin playing when he was living in Netherlands at the age of 6. It was actually his sister who was the first association footballer in the family, and he learned from the skills that she taught him, actually, before then formally enrolling at a couple of clubs in the Dutch system. Really got his first big opportunities in Sweden. He's really lived all over the world. A very interesting journey. A lot of these United City FC players have travelled extensively to pursue their dream of playing football at the highest level. And I think you can see they are a team of hard workers, whatever the outcome of this game. Yenaga. It's come off Jordan Jarvis. It's still with Frontale, and it's blocked again. Once more, sturdy defending from United City FC. It may have a touch of desperation to it, but it has a whole lot of effort to it, and Jason With will surely commend the sedulity of his players. Yamane runs nowhere. Reed. Just imagine the reaction if they can get a goal. Oh, just wouldn't quite fall for Kieran Hayes, who is a useful player in front of goal. Doesn't get many opportunities, but he will doubtless be very significant domestically for United City FC. And that, the goal. Angelo Marasigan unable to prevent Tatsuya Hasegawa from scoring his career 5th AFC Champions League goal. August. Well controlled by Marasigan. Hayes is his only obvious option. And now he plays it to Robles, well blocked by Wakizawa. Oh, that's great play from Wakizawa to win it back and win the free kick. And a yellow card as well for Adam Reed. Joined the club in March, part of that big influx of players, and he can't really object at all to that. It was a wild lunge. Goalkeeper's ball. I think it's important to keep restating just how demanding that first half was for Anthony Pintus. How many saves he made. It's been more comfortable for Daegu FC. They're 3-0 up against Beijing Guoan. So all of that is going to mean there's 3 points between the sides. And that is the next game for Kawasaki Frontale. Again, well read by Pintus. He's been alert throughout. He could technically play full international football for 3 different countries, Anthony Pintus, having only represented Philippines at the under-23 level in the Southeast Asian Games. Could play for Switzerland, could play for Ireland as well, due to family connections. It's offside. Yanaga. Well, there is your leading goal scorer in the AFC Champions League. United City FC have the all-time leading goal scorer in the AFC Cup on the bench, Yombe Maragnon. They have chosen not to use him. Taniguchi has it back. Mamura going over the top to Wakizawa, well defended by Gesu. Yet again, Grierson, who's shown a keen anticipation of the runs made by Frontale players throughout. Safe to say that they can look around at each other, these United City FC players, and say, you know what, we really did fight hard for this. We did all that we could. Pass playing it long, and hopefully Reed well forward, needs to track back now. But they're not in a great hurry, Kawasaki Frontale, to punish him for that little excursion. Once again, Miki Yamane, who signed from Shonan Belmare in 2019, made a lot of appearances for them. Not quite run for Chinen. Pass. Grierson. Kane will get a second chance to use this. The next game for United City FC is the rematch with Beijing Guoan. The 1-1 draw from match day 1 has been a game that these players have thought about for quite some time. They feel they should have won it. They're going to get another chance. Hayes shoots and forces the save. A chance for the follow-up and another chance, but it goes back into the arms of the goalkeeper, and Cholo Burgos now goes down. But Jung Sung Ryong forced to at least drop to ground and make a save. That's really good play from Kieran Hayes. Jung Sung Ryong was a touch on the fortunate side, but this didn't travel a little more kindly to Burgos. But they've done things in this game that they were not even close to doing in the first. If United City FC play with this fortitude against Beijing Guoan, they could make life most uncomfortable for the young players. And they could well get that win that would be a further history-making performance after they got their first ever Champions League point. Indeed, the Philippines' first ever Champions League point. It's been hard going since then, but this has been a really encouraging performance from Jason With's team. For Toru Oniki, hardly the finest Kawasaki Frontale display of all time, but what they are good at is winning games without playing fantastically. They have not conceded, and most importantly of all, they have that 3-point advantage over Daegu FC. Into the last minute of the contest as that ball goes over the top of Keichinen. His goal that looked as though after 18 minutes it was going to signal the start of yet another rout. Not so today. And the gentleman who might well get the last kick of the ball for United City FC, he has been a monstrously important figure in making sure that this has been respectable. A fine goalkeeping performance from Anthony Pintus. They wait Kawasaki Frontale for the last few seconds of the contest to expire. Beaten but not defeated. A few days ago, United City FC were embarrassed. Today, they are respected, for they have made life very difficult for the top side in Japan. This was not even close to being another thumping. This was a hard-working, disciplined display from tired players from United City FC whose heads did not drop. Kawasaki Frontale, yes, they wasted a few chances here and there, but they were also kept at bay courtesy of a fine performance by Anthony Pintus in goal for the team from Philippines. They can be proud, they can be very proud, and they can face Beijing Guoan knowing that they just may be able to get their first ever Champions League win. For Kawasaki Frontale, they now turn their attention to the big game, the meeting with Daegu FC. All that to come, but for now we'll leave it as things stand here in Tashkent. United City FC 0, Kawasaki Frontale 2.